Hello.
And welcome to Film Bastards.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, people, and welcome to episode 486 of Film Bastards. I am one of your co-hosts, Mark Foster, and as ever, I am joined by
Becky Foster. Hello, everyone.
and
Ian Loring, hello.
well, this is going to be weird because Becky will disappear at one point during the show, and it might sound a little bit different, and we might be a little bit different because we're actually recording this bit of the show like 5 days later.
Wow. So, like, the listeners will go back in time.
The listeners will literally go back in time.
That's crazy.
I think we were forward in time from where we were earlier. Yeah, so that's going to happen. Reason being, guys, is life's kind of quite. We have these little moments where life just gets quite complicated for us, and so we wouldn't have been able. We're missing a week. But we didn't want to miss talking about John Wick Chapter 4.
Because who the fuck would want to miss that?
Exactly. So this is going into what would have been the show before it, making it more of a show. Because it was less of a show.
So it's going to be a really big show.
It's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it will probably end up being about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because last week, the content that we recorded last Tuesday, and it's Sunday now, was quite short, and I will say I was in a fucking foul mood, and it came across, I believe. Spoiler alert, the films that we reviewed in that section maybe weren't the most inspiring films in the world, and it just works getting a little bit more intense. For context, I got a promotion a couple of weeks back. My remit has it's kind of expanded in so much as I'm getting involved in quite a lot of conversations at the moment, which leads to quite a lot of actions. It's difficult, like, because the weekdays are quite stressful, the weekends not so stressful, but the weekends, it's harder for us to sync up recording, so it's a difficult one. But my apologies, as during the non-start John Wick 3 and finish sections, I am just not in a great mood.
You don't have to dance around it, Ian. I know it's because you were missing me. I know that's why it is.
Sure. No, I mean, like, to be fair, I don't know. Like, the thing is, Mark usually cheers me the fuck up, and it just wasn't working. I don't know why, but I just, like, coming up.
Fuck, Mark. What were you
There
doing?
is a bit in the news section coming up where Mark tries to bring up David Lowery's new film, and I fucking shoot that shit down, like, really, really bad.
Oh, I did hear about this, actually. This one. Because you fucking love David Lowery, you miserable git.
I just... Look, I'm going to go over it again. I'm really not bothered about Anne Hathaway and somebody else having a relationship with each other in a film. I don't know. I don't care. I don't care. And that's not what I come to David Lowery for. But hey, it will end up being my film of 2024.
Yeah, it will be. it really will now. You've set it up.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it. You know, but yeah, no, let's go. But anyway, yeah, so Mark, reviews this week.
Reviews this week are John Wick Chapter 4, The Boston Strangler. Oh, no, sorry, not The Boston Strangler, just Boston Strangler, which bothers me still now. And Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
And can you imagine, folks? So, I've just been busy and haven't had time to put the show out, or like not been in the headspace. If I'd put the show out and it was Shazam, Boston Strangler, and it was about an hour and a half long, and it's me just being fucking miserable, you really wouldn't want to listen to that. Like, the John Wick discussion is going to be the highlight of this entire episode, and it'll probably be first. So get ready for things to go downhill.
So, Ian, what's been happening this week?
Obviously, sad news of Lance Reddick passing away. We'll be seeing him in John Wick Chapter 4 this weekend. He's got a few other projects already in the can, but dead at 60. Was it 60? Yeah. Natural causes, apparently. Still don't know exactly what happened there. He skipped some sort of press event for John Wick last week and did some stuff at home for it instead, like remotely. But I don't know whether it was connected or not. But just like one of those presences who just felt like he was. You did just feel like he was going to be around, like that guy, like he'd just pop up in things for the next like 20, 30 years, and it was. I was quite struck by that one, I must say.
I think part of it was the fact that he's not 60's not old nowadays, is it? Let's be honest. It's just not old nowadays. So I think it's the fact that he was only 60. I think you can say only 60 now, and I think the other part of it is, he's been a visual presence for like that we're going to see a movie, that he is part of a series of movies that he's a big part of. Yeah, he's not a big screen time character, but he's a big part of those movies. And as one of the things I look forward to when I'm going to see the John Wick movies is Lance Reddick in them. He's really good. He's an engaging character. He's a fantastic screen presence, and it's really kind of sad that you were seeing him in an awful lot more over the sort of the past getting on for near a decade now, and that was really cool that you was seeing him in a lot more, and it's just sad that we're not going to see him in more now. It's going to be a weird one, that seeing him up on a big IMAX screen this weekend.
Yeah, just a big shame. I played some Destiny 2 last night and heard his voice in there. He was a very, very big part of that. Apparently, he was literally playing it the night before he died. He was just a big part of that community of folks. I know it's hit some of those players quite hard as well, and just
so was he not just a voice for it? Was he did he dip in and out of the community as well?
Yeah. I mean, he was straight up was a regular player, and just genuinely loved it. And it was the statement his wife put out. She specifically called out the Destiny fans for their kind of love and support and whatnot, which that dude's been in a shitload of stuff, and it was interesting that was the case. He was also a kind of a buddy not buddy in the Horizon games as well, and he would have been a part of the next one. So it's that dude he had a lot of he had his fingers in a lot of different pies, I mean, I'd imagine the residuals money for his wife will help with any financial concerns she may now have as well. But it's rough go of things. He just seemed he was still pretty young and he seemed pretty vibrant. It's not one of those ones where they were in their 80s. You haven't heard from them for a while, and or even Tom Sizemore, where it was just his earlier days, you kind of thought he'll probably die early, and it might have been that because he had an aneurysm or something, which might not necessarily been connected to his earlier days, but that wasn't so much of a surprise.
No, it was there's an element of that. It's sad what happened to Tom Sizemore.
Yeah, quite. Lance Reddick, condolences. It's a fucking tough beat, that one. Aside from that, I think Hollywood's in a bit of a post-Oscars lull at the moment.
So, did I read that Jordan Peele's new film has been confirmed for a Christmas Day 2024 release?
Yeah, Christmas 2024. Nobody knows what it's about. And it's going up against Avatar 3 and Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Fair play.
So, let's see what happens there. That's going to be a busy Christmas.
Yeah.
Full of blue things.
David Lowry's new one's been confirmed.
Oh, yeah. The musical thing about a relationship between Anne Hathaway and Michaela Cole.
Yep.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like I just can't be asked. I'm sure it will be good. I just can't muster up the enthusiasm for it. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say there.
I'm very much of the can for Lowry, so...
Yeah, so am I. And, we got Peter Pan and Wendy towards the end of April, which I'm looking forward to. It just, cool. Looking forward to everyone talking about... I genuinely can't be asked to talk about that one. I don't know why. Right. I hope it's good because I like David Lowry.
Fair play. Like I said, it does seem we're in that kind of post Oscars thing where Hollywood just kind of has a few weeks off. What trailers have you been catching this week?
Genuinely don't know whether I've seen any. That Little Mermaid one was the week. Yeah, it was during the Oscars, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, have you got any?
I watched one for a film called Joyride. And I'm not really sure what the fuck was going on. So I'll read you the synopsis. Follows 4 Asian American friends as they bond and discover the truth about what it means to know and love who you are while they travel through Asia in search of one of their birth mums. Yeah, I was watching it going, so it's a gross out comedy about 4 American Asians going to Asia for the first time.
Does it look good?
No. Do you know what does look good though? Blackberry. I know you spoke about it last week, but I think the trailer had come out that day. And so I watched it afterwards. Yeah, I am very up for this.
Yeah, absolutely. Geeks being taken for a ride by rich people and then geeks turning on each other and whatnot. Jay Baruchel as a silver fox. Yeah, let's go.
Is it that guy from Always Sunny as well? The one who
Glenn Howerton.
Yeah, the one who nobody actually likes, but
yeah.
Yeah, and he very much plays on that, doesn't he? Yeah, him just playing, a character that seems like it was perfectly made for him. And apparently he's a really nice guy. He's just very good at playing
I'm sure he is. He's just not Charlie Day or Rob McElhenney, is he? So
No, it's... he did a film a few years ago called Browntown about a coffee shop where he plays, a character that is just a dickhead. But it's a really engaging dickhead in it.
It's a good name for a... Yeah, that's a good name for a film.
It's a really fun kind of light, really fucking light and frothy. I'm going to say it, light and frothy. Set in a coffee shop movie. That's like about 90 minutes long, and is just a bit odd. Yeah, I enjoyed him in that. But I know him more from that than there'll be people who are going, he's fucking great and Always Sunny, and it's like, yeah, I'm never going to watch it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've tried It's Always Sunny a couple of times. It's okay. It's just there's a lot of it.
I tried. I think I watched the first season and a half and then stopped watching it and realised that I had no inclination to ever go back to watching it. I'm really glad people enjoy it, and I'm glad it's been running for as fucking long as it is, and it's rocking and rolling still, and they don't seem like they're going to slow down with it. But yeah, it's never going to be for me. Right, yeah, but that's it. I think there's not really been anything else really out trailer wise there. Trying to think if I saw anything new in the cinema. I don't think I did. I think I just got the Dungeons and Dragons, John Wick, and something else. Can't remember what else it was I got. But yeah, so let's have a look then. Right, fuck it. Let's go into one of our feature reviews. Right. Cool. Right, I'll let you get off. I'm gonna get off and go and maybe start dinner.
Oh yeah, go do it, mate. Yeah, try and get it ready when Becky's back. Nice one.
All right, bud.
Cheers,
Speak soon, man. Bye.
Will do, bye.
Let's fucking go. So, John Wick Chapter 4, directed by Chad Stahelski, and starring Keanu Reeves, Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Lawrence Fishburne, Haruki Sandana, Lance Reddick, Scott Adkins, and Ian McShane is back as well. What batshit fucking synopsis does IMDb give us? John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table, but before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. I mean, that's
very accurate,
that's
actually.
not
Yeah,
that
pretty good.
bad. Actually, it's close.
It covers most bases.
It's closer than often these things are.
Yeah.
It's John Wick 4. We all know what we're getting ourselves in for with this one.
We're getting our eyeballs asses kicked.
We are getting our eyeballs asses kicked, and there's a lot of dick trauma in this one.
There is.
An awful lot of dick trauma.
I mean, I'm normally very well behaved in the cinema and do not even whisper to you most of the time, do I? But I leaned over to you and there's an awful lot of dick trauma in this.
Yes, there is. Ian, what did you think to John Wick Chapter 4?
So, I think I'm probably going to, unfortunately on trend for this episode, be the most down on John Wick Chapter 4, but I still think it's a really good time. The running time does feel very, very almost taking the piss out of itself with just how epic it is. But there is fat that could be trimmed. I get the arc of Mr. Nobody. We did not need Mr. Nobody.
No, we said that, didn't we?
You said that. I didn't disagree, is what I will say.
I said, what was the point of that guy? And you said you could literally take him out and the story would be unchanged.
Yeah, I didn't say I didn't want him there, but I do think you could take him out and the story would be unchanged.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. That's where there is fat on the bone with John Wick Chapter 4. But
I mean, this is basically belly pork, this film. There is a lot of fat there.
That's perfect. That's very good. Yeah, that's exactly...
You are correct there, yeah.
It isn't just him, let's be real.
No, and, I think the Scott Adkins bit, I really, really like it, Scott Adkins in this. Did that necessarily do anything apart from it achieved something so that John Wick could... It was very convoluted. It didn't need to be that convoluted, and you could have saved time. But if this is going to be the last John Wick, all spoilers all the time, if this is actually the death of John Wick, then I think that I think, do you know what? Fair enough. They're bowing out with this just egregiously fat film and cool. Given how...
Do you think he is dead?
Yeah.
Given the way the film is performing, I think Lionsgate will really, really, really be wanting a Chapter 5. However, Ballerina's coming out at some point. So, Ana de Armas is in that. If that's successful, maybe they spin things out there. I don't know, maybe you could... because I believe that's a prequel. Well, actually, it will be a prequel, so Lance Reddick's in it.
Yeah, it's set between 3 and 4.
Okay, you know, there you go. So I don't know. Maybe there's some way that they could get John Wick in there. But the thing is, John Wick's arc now is basically done. There is, I suppose, the whole. He could still get revenge against the High Table or something like that. That's the
only way they could extend it into 5 is if 5 is that him and Winston have essentially concocted a plan to make it seem like he's dead, so that they can, from the inside, Winston can chip away at it, and John Wick can go after the High Table there.
That's what I want. I want him to come back to take down the High Table.
If I wanted a 5, that is what I would want. However, I am not sure I want a 5.
That's the thing. I really don't want a 5. I feel like they've just won 100 grand in poker, and now they're kind of thinking like, all right, do I put it all on black again? And it you know,
cash out Lionsgate.
Yeah, it is that you've built up a universe, you can spin things off, and you know the action in it is great. I just everything up to the end of the Japan sequence, that was when I went for a pee break, Mark, and I text you just like, I feel like I've just watched a fucking film and I'm about to watch the sequel. Like that's where I was at there. And that sequence is just incredible. And her fucking knifing that guy while he's walking up the stairs and almost like using him as like a marionette to get up the stairs while she's fucking stabbing him is what that, and Donnie Yen winding up his arm to hit someone like it was fucking Looney Tunes.
I'll get on my thoughts soon.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get into you guys' thoughts. I really, really liked it. It's not my favourite. It's just not lean enough for that. But it's really it's a very, very good John Wick film.
Becky.
Largely the same. To get the negatives out of the way, that final fight scene on the way to the Sakura is fucking stupid. It's like, oh, this bit's really cool. This section of the fight is really cool. Oh, it's half an hour later and they're still fucking doing it. It's no longer cool. Oh, he's spinning his car round and round this group of people and just shooting them through the no doors. That looks really cool. Yes, they're still fucking doing it. It just, everything goes on far too fucking long. And the bits that are cool are then no longer cool because they're fucking boring. That fight scene, just, it tested my patience so much. I considered going to the bathroom for a break, just for a break from that scene. Because it was like, it could have been so good if they just restrained themselves a little bit. Because there's sections to that fight sequence, isn't there? There's this group of people, and then he beats all them, and then he goes to another place, and then there's that group of people. If each one of those sections had just been slightly shorter, it would have been fantastic.
There's a 2.25 hour film in here, which is one of the great American action films.
Yeah. The bit on the stairs, oh my fucking god. That, again, Looney Tunes territory when he was falling down the stairs. And the fact that he stops and then he just randomly starts falling again. It's like, it just goes on too long. It thinks its joke's too funny and just tries too hard with it. That guy that kept coming back, that was fucking irritating. The same one guy that kept coming into each fight bit.
The fucking
the one that kicks him down the stairs, basically.
The Marquis, like assistant, like bodyguard guy almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. And I didn't like the Warriors rip-off bit. That really rubbed me up the wrong way. Hated that bit. But
so basically, the third act of the film.
No, because there's really good bits within that fight sequence. Like I said to you, that overhead shot sequence of the
Duke Nukem sequence.
The Hotline Miami sequence. Yeah.
That is brilliantly done. The actual, like I say, the first 2/3 of each section of the fight bits is really good. It's just they fuck it up by taking it on too long. But there's some really, really fucking good fight choreography in there, and it looks absolutely fantastic. When he when he teams up with Donnie Yen to go up the stairs as well, he's just so fucking cool, isn't he?
And I just, sorry, when the Marquis like goes up to Donnie Yen, and he's just like, remember your daughter. Fuck off.
Fucking man.
So but the bit when once they've got to the top of the stairs, it's great. It's just that bit to get there takes too long. They mess up there for me. But then all the fights throughout the film go on that little bit too long. The one in the nightclub goes on a little bit too long.
It does.
The one in the Osaka Continental goes on a little bit too long. They all just don't know when to fucking wrap it up.
See, that's the thing.
Really good.
I really like the Osaka Continental one, but like I say, I felt like I just watched a film, because that is as good as like any climactic action sequence in like any other film, as you will find. But then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
And like, Belly Pork is such a perfect 2-word review for this film, Bex. Honestly, like, that is just, you get exactly what you mean from that. Like, it's tasty and it tastes pretty nice going down, but my God, just
I really fucking loved it. I just wish they'd shown a little bit of restraint on the runtime, and the runtime specifically of the fight scenes, because if you shorten all of them, you've got a better film with a better runtime. And the thing is, I know you completely disagree, but it loses its impact. There's only so many times you can see Keanu Reeves fucking kick and punch and nunchuck someone in the dick before it loses its impact.
I agree with that, Bex. Like, yeah. It's frustrating.
I bet that fucking hurt, to being like, I don't even fucking care anymore. That's just pate basically in his boxes right now. It's been mashed so many times. But
sorry,
I did love it. So I'm not complaining. I really did enjoy it. I just wish it was a bit shorter.
Mark, come in like the Kool-Aid man here, man. Come on.
That is what I'm going to fucking do.
Yeah, nice.
I will be going to see it again at the cinema. Without question. Probably on Thursday while I'm off work and you're at work next. I'll be going to see it at the cinema again. I admit that it is overindulgent and is intentionally fucking too long. It is. I think that there's that. I think they set out to make a 4 and a 5 as back-to-back films, and to make them back-to-back. Then, because of COVID bits like that, they decided no, we're just going to focus on 4. I think during the production of it, they've gone, do you know what? I think that the filmmakers, maybe not Lionsgate, but the filmmakers have gone, I don't think we've got a 5. So why don't we just go fucking huge with 4? And that's what Selsky has said, that for his mind, he thinks that him and Reeves might be done with the Wick films. But he's not saying, look, that's not a definite, it's just
you've got a universe. You've got a universe. You can do things. You can have another character who is aggrieved against the high table and seeks to finish what John Wick started. You can do that.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, it's a good enough conclusion to the John Wick story. He gets the closure that he needed. He doesn't die under the hand of the High Table.
Yeah.
That is there. Donnie, the thing is, the criticism I would have of 3, and there's not a lot to criticise of 3, is I just think there's too many characters in 3. I think everybody's...
And there's not in this. Sorry, Mark.
No, it's different. I think that the characters are a little bit more focused in this. I think the idea of the fact that it's gone, right, we're going to have people from within the martial arts film world front and centre here. So, you've got Hiroki Sandana, and then you've got Donnie Yen and Scott Adkins are all there.
No Mark Dacascos though, is there?
Well, Mark Dacascos was the last one, wasn't it? And you're getting... I mean, Donnie Yen is just one of the most charismatic performers and fighters out there.
I've never seen him in anything before, I don't think. He was fucking brilliant in this.
And, you know, like you said, Ian, the winding up his hand to hit that guy is just... Oh my god!
Just using those fucking doorbells as well.
Yeah,
like it was just like, what is going on here? What's he doing? And pays off like a slot machine.
The fucking his facial expressions and his posture that he has when he's fighting is phenomenal. And there was the bit where I know I thoroughly disagree with you on the stairs bit. The bit where he's got the stairs fight and it's both of them fighting, you're watching it going, these are 2 guys who are pushing 60.
No, I said I liked that bit.
You'd also complained about it.
No, the bit before it.
These are 2 guys pushing 60. And it is just magnificent watching them. The thing is, right, so... There's a trend within awards season films whereby if you do a transformation or you physically take on something different, that it's seen as a greater, higher form of acting. So, for instance, you know, and I think I can say this as being a champion of Brendan Fraser before it was cool. That's what Brendan Fraser. Before it was cool. But, you know, a lot of the good feeling about that performance, or a lot of the awards fodder for that performance, was the fat suit. In the same way as Charlize Theron essentially kind of won an Oscar by not being as pretty as Charlize Theron in a film. These things happen. The sheer amount of choreography and learned skill and all these things that went into Donnie Yen and Keanu Reeves and others within this film is phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. The sheer rehearsal times of getting all those bits right and the sheer skill of filmmakers of getting this right. And the one thing that I'll say as well, it's a stunning looking movie.
Oh yeah.
Dan Lausson and Chad Starsky, their appreciation and use of light is phenomenal. It's
the fact that like stuff like this, stuff like the fight stuff, isn't recognised in any kind of category really at awards shows is ridiculous. Not stunts or choreography.
No, there's a stunt where a guy throws himself down an escalator, and that guy, it's not a bum escalator. It's not a fucking trick escalator. It's a fucking escalator. They're made of metal, really hard metal, right? For anyone who's ever fallen on an escalator, it fucking hurts.
They're like sharp, aren't they?
Yeah, and a guy throws himself down it.
Fuck escalators.
Yeah. A guy throws himself down it. That is fun. What?
What bit's that? I don't remember.
It's in the Osaka
Okay.
hotel bit. Yeah, there's a bit where a guy gets thrown down an escalator.
Yeah.
And that is a real guy falling down a fucking escalator. Just the sheer. The thing is, I get where you're both coming from about it being too long. It is, and everything like that. But I am also stamping like fucking Graham Souness for Galatasaray. Nobody else can get that reference. I am fucking stamping a flag in the fucking centre circle and going, I don't care. I don't care. And I'm cool with not caring about that. I can both be in the position of going, yes, probably is too long. Yes, the fight scenes probably do go on too long. But also saying, I could have watched it for another hour and still been thoroughly enthralled. But I do honestly get where people are coming from. I'm very glad that, and I'm going to say this, there's a part of me that thinks that if this film would have been, if the unfortunate incident of Lance Reddick dying before this came out had happened a few months ago, I think there might have been questions about how do we get him out of the film. I also don't think his family
isn't killed.
Yeah, I also don't think his family would have allowed that. Because I think that apparently that suggestion was made. But it was both. I was quite glad in a way that he wasn't in it more because for some reason that kind of has hit a lot of people.
Yeah.
There would need to be a bit of a real retooling, like the whole Ian McShane.
Yeah.
He's as pissed off about Chiron being killed as he is about the hotel being blown up. I think
it's more. I think it's there's a great bit in it where he says, I had to think of what to put on his tombstone. All I could think of was friend.
A friend, yeah.
And it's just, yeah. It was the him dying bit. It was kind of a bit. Fuck.
It is fucking weird.
Yeah.
It's happenstance, isn't it? But man.
I love the fact that Scott Adkins actually apparently said, "I've got this idea for my character," and they all went, "Yes, I love that idea."
He's good fun. And I thought for a second, hang on a second, are they going to have Scott Adkins in it in a fat suit doing a monologue and then not fighting? Because that would actually be quite funny.
Yeah, it would have been quite funny, but then you watch it going, but there's no way they're having Scott Adkins on set and not having him fight Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Honestly, loved the whole opulent, over-the-top, Looney Tunes fucking beauty of the entire thing.
And it's crazy just how little John Wick talks in this as well.
I am going to say this now. I think that John Wick kills more people than he says words in this series of films.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, probably. It is absurd the amount of people he kills, and it's fine because they are all trying to kill him. Like, there's never any feeling that people would have given up, but he killed them anyway.
Yeah,
they're always going at him until they literally can't.
I think somebody did a thing, and it was somebody gets killed by John Wick for every 90 seconds of the first 3 movies. That's his hit rate. Is one in every it's one in every 91 seconds. I think it might be. I'm very curious to see when it gets totaled up what his hit rate is here.
It just
in the total of it.
The more I think of it, it needs to be the last one. Like, it has the balls at the start to have Lawrence Fishburne blow out a match and then it cut to a fucking sunset in the desert. Like, it is the Lawrence of Arabia of action films.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's doing that and just being so fucking, this is what we are. how do you do another one?
That's it. You only do another one if you can top it. And I don't see the reason why you would even risk not being able to.
Have
the good sense to go, do you know what? We made one of cinema's great 4 movie.
Yeah.
Blitz. You know, it's phenomenal what they've done. They are beautiful, magnificent films that each have their own style but all feel of a piece. I just think that you might be pushing your luck. Like you said, Ian, there, it's the you've won $100,000. Don't now put it all back on.
Yeah.
Like, unless you absolutely fucking know you have a holy fuck, we have a story.
That's the thing. The only reason why they would even think of a story at this point is Lionsgate going, here's a dump truck full of money. Like, I genuinely, at this point,
Reeves won't sign up for a dump truck of money.
No, and this just with the end of this film, obviously, like, and apparently they did a test screening where they made it more ambiguous and it tested poorer. You know, so it is. You are done. If there is another one, it is literally financial, no matter what you say. There is, yes, okay, there's the high table, but if you were that bothered about that, don't kill him off in this one.
Yeah,
it's done.
I think there was a choice. Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think they made a choice to go. We're gonna kill him off. We're gonna leave. We're gonna leave a slight crack in the door just in case. But
he says Helen. He dies and he's buried next to his wife.
Yeah,
it's done.
I do think that because Salsky has said, in our minds, Keanu and I are done for the moment. We're going to give John Wick a rest. I'm sure the studio has a plan. If everyone loves it and goes kooky, then we'll take a quiet minute.
But oh, fuck's sake!
But Reeves has very much.
He's not a dump truck of money kind of guy,
no,
is he?
He
Although he did make that new Matrix.
But he did that. I don't think that was about money.
It was a friendship thing. It was Wachowski.
Yeah. And I don't think I think he's. Plus, the other bit there is, I think he's going to get to the point where he's like, do you know what? If we do another one, it's going to be in 3 years' time. I'm going to be 60. Do I want to be? I did enjoy the fact that that there was points in this where he wasn't just the fucking Terminator. He was getting up and looking knackered.
Yeah.
You know, granted, yeah, he does seem immune from falling from incredibly high heights.
That kind of took the piss, actually, when he fell out that window in that house. And he did a fall that was basically the fall at the end of chapter 3.
Yeah.
But that required rehabilitation. This didn't.
Yeah, but I get the feeling where they'd gone into almost like they teetered beyond it being John Wick to him being the Baba Yaga, and it was the legend that you were getting. You were getting the story of the legend of John fucking Wick. And I was by that point I was like, that's what I am getting. I am being told the legend of fucking John Wick right now.
Do you know what I'd rather have?
Rather than the first one where you are watching John Wick becoming, you are now absorbing the fucking legend of John Wick, and I am fucking cool with that.
Couple of things. Do you know what I'd rather have rather than a chapter 5?
What?
A prequel of him as the Baba Yaga, or him trying to, or whatever the fuck it is he has to do to get out. That means that all these people have fucking markers on him.
Do that. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do a John Wick, do that. Just
So who
don't
would you
carry
cast?
on this story from this point.
Who would you cast though?
Probably still Keanu Reeves.
Can't cast Keanu Reeves as a younger John Wick when he's played the older one.
I reckon you probably could.
No, because then
you
you
could
get
do a
into
little
some
bit.
shitty de-aging
You
and
could
it
do a
don't
little
work.
bit of what Uncle Vin's been doing there.
No, we don't want to.
Do you know what? I think people would just go. Honestly,
I think people would be fine.
if it was just like, do you want me in it or not? You know, it would just be like, yeah, actually, yeah, we do.
I mean, we all accepted Ian McShane's new teeth in this one.
Gosh, yeah, they were a thing, weren't they? And the other thing I was going to say, give me a minute. What was I going to say? Fuck, I've gone completely blank. Give me a minute.
Well, I think we are.
Oh, that was it. I think they fucked up a little bit with the magic suits.
Why?
Because you just can't fucking kill anyone, can you?
That's the point.
Yeah, but those fucking stupid magic suits are the reason why the fucking fight scene in the Osaka Continental goes on for 3 days.
I did enjoy the fact that you've got the guys that are from the high table and they're wearing like the Kevlar mask bits.
Yeah,
and he
like-
keeps shooting that one guy in the face.
Yeah, just to stop him walking forward. Like, he knows he's not going to kill him, but he's just pushing him away a little bit with the
And
impact.
even the guy is like, oh, come on!
But no, like, I mean, you're essentially now... They've created this scenario where someone could just get a fucking gimp suit made out of that material and they'd be just
I
fine.
don't think it's breathable, babe.
I think it is.
No, I don't think it's like breathable. It's Kevlar fucking fibres. I don't think you can breathe in it.
There's gaps in it.
I don't think you can breathe in it though. I don't think you'd be able to get enough breath.
Snorkel them.
I reckon they tried
Gimp
it.
suit with a snorkel.
Gimp suit with a fucking snorkel.
Yeah.
Solid.
Fair play. Yeah. No, I mean, I think I might be Fallout.
Wow.
Fair
Yeah.
play.
On that.
Nice. Wow.
I was definitely not shit on 4 out of 5 coming out the cinema. And the more I think of it, the more I think, all right, that's fair enough as a criticism, and that's fair enough as a criticism.
If you can listen to the criticisms of it and just go, I don't fucking care though because I love it.
Yeah.
Then it's Fallout.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
then
that's
it's
where I am.
all that. Agree.
And I'm just like, but I do not care. I'm luxuriated in this movie.
Yeah. Although to be fair, there is no criticisms that could be levelled at Fallout that would be valid. So
Fair.
I might watch that trailer again.
John Wick Chapter 4, definitely not shit.
Yeah, definitely not shit. It's not full Fallout for me because it's just the length is prohibitive. But yeah, definitely not shit.
If they came out and went as a 5-hour cut,
Clear my diary.
yeah. I mean, 15 hours free
Why 50?
to watch it back to back 3 times.
That's silly.
Yeah.
It's very silly.
Right. You're going to hear more of us.
Not me.
Not you.
I wasn't here.
No, you weren't.
Back in time.
Back in time. So you're going to
But
hear
then
more
you'll be
of us.
back at the end.
Bye. Like that.
Yeah.
CS3P Combat. Player 1, choose your character.
Tired of film and television podcasts where the hosts exist in a blissful state of agreement?
Instructor. Player 2, choose your character.
Well, you're in luck.
Punter. Round 1, fight!
Allow me to introduce you to the Chinstroker vs. Punter podcast, featuring 2 film and television fans from Birmingham, England, who enjoy their media in very different ways.
But anyway, that brings us to the end of the plot of Blue Velvet.
The plot. I mean, the main characters are 2 of the dullest main characters I have ever encountered in any film.
So join us as we catch up on what we've been watching from our own very different perspectives.
Double KO. Round 2, fight!
You can find us at csvsp.libsyn.com, also on Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, all the places that podcasts can be found.
Just really
It's not visually striking.
No.
Just getting confirmation.
It's just in that's the 3rd time though. I mean, is this on?
Didn't expect that this would be a scot-free film. The Boston Strangler, not the Boston Strangler. Written and directed by Matt Ruskin. Based around true events, and starring Keira Knightley, Carrie Coon, Alessandro Nivola, Chris Cooper, David Dutchmarlian is in there as well. Of course he is, because if you're looking for a sepia-toned sketchy fucker, look no further.
Yeah.
So, Boston Strangler, what is it about? Loretta McLaughlin was a reporter who first connected the murders and broke the story of the Boston Strangler. She and Gene Cole challenged the sexism of the early 1960s to report on the city's most notorious serial killer. Ian, we don't usually do this anymore. We usually do just go into what did you think. But I am going to ask you a question. So, Boston Strangler, is it just one part Mindhunter, one part Zodiac, and then just add a splash of fucking folks love fucking true crime, don't they? Boom.
Yeah, with a large dollop of She Said as well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
I honestly would have switched it off if we weren't doing it for the podcast.
You absolutely could have, and I would have just said, that's fine, mate.
The thing is, spoiler alert, apart from the other main review, I've only got one other thing I watched this week, so I just don't have a lot to talk about this week. I was just increasingly checked out as it went on. I was thinking, is it going to be Keira Knightley and Carrie Coon kind of working together? No,
nope,
not really.
Not really.
I was kind of reading up on it, and it's these two working mums who are busting the Boston Police Department's inadequacy wide open. It's it would have been cool if there was any kind of showing that it was difficult to be a working mum while doing that as well. I don't know, that just kind of riled me, right? Everything about this film was minimum effort.
Oh, yeah.
And it just felt like it was just purely gonna coast on, this is a story of women overcoming the odds, or woman overcoming the odds. And it was lazy, it was derivative. Keira Knightley is fine. But Carrie Coon, I enjoyed her energy. There's not enough of it. I mean, minimum effort. David Dastmalchian as the guy who's so obviously the guy that he's obviously not the guy.
Yep.
And and like you say, the whole Zodiac thing of God, there was even the fucking sequence where the guy was it's in here, come in closer, and I'll show. I just, come on.
And it was even shot very similar, that one.
Yeah.
Weird cinematography in this fucking movie, and I'm not just meaning the fact that they flicked on the Mindhunter filter on it, which, let's face it, Mindhunter flicked on the fucking Zodiac filter. At least there's connective tissue between those two. But Ben Cutchins, he seems to have shot everything from half a foot below where people were standing. So you're constantly not looking up to people, but not quite in eye level with them, and never above. There's barely a single shot that is from above anything at all. It's all, and it makes it feel a little bit like you are literally sat watching everything that's going on, and it was just. I felt myself palpably going, could you do something? Just it doesn't even need to be flashy, just anything with the camera. Please.
Yeah, no, exactly. It really annoyed me, this film. Really annoyed me. It just felt so, we're telling an important story. And because we're doing that, we don't need to do anything with anything else. It's just tell an important story.
Well, full cards on the table. I watched this movie on my iPad. So I watched it in 4K on my iPad. But I finished work quite a bit before Becky yesterday. But then we were going to the cinema to see Shazam. So I had enough time to kill to watch this movie in that in between. So I watched it at the Cineworld that is in York, that is right next to where I work now. It's kind of upstairs. There's a Starbucks downstairs. So I went into the Starbucks to have a coffee and to try and just see how much I could eke out one coffee into Boston Strangler. And it was very quiet, this Starbucks. There wasn't a lot of people in. So I was having my coffee and was watching Boston Strangler. And it must have been about an hour had passed, and I had finished my coffee by this point. And the guy from the coffee place from Starbucks sort of came over, and I thought, right, there's nobody in, but he's well within his rights to come over to me and go, excuse me, mate, are you actually, because you have finished that a while ago. Yeah. I thought, he's going to be well within his rights, and he clearly doesn't want to do this, but he's probably being kind of made to by company policy. So he walked over, so I took my headphones out, and was like, yeah, mate, and he went, do you want a coffee, bud? And I was like, yeah, can do. Thought, fuck it, I'm gonna, he's clearly going, look, if you're going to stay here, you're going to need another coffee. So I was like, yeah, I can do, bud. And he was like, all right, I'll bring it over, mate. And I was like, all right, no problem, cheers for that. And he brought it over, and I kind of went to get my watch out to sort of pay, thinking he'd bring the card machine over, and he was like, oh, do you want me to pay for that? Come to the counter, pay for that? He went, no, mate, don't worry about it. I went over and sat back down where he was sat, because there was nobody else in there. But it was open till 9 o'clock, and this was at 5. So I was like, do you know what? That was more entertaining than anything that was going on with Boston Strangler. It's just... Yeah. Carrie Coon is an engaging screen presence. I find her energy in films really, really watchable. She's fantastic in Gone Girl. And she's great in this, but she disappears for 40 minutes of it.
I was stunned, just how barely in it she is. You know, they get paired up, and then they're writing together, and they go out for a drink, and then, like you say, she just disappears once Boston wants to forget about it all. And then what are you stuck with? Keira Knightley pulling on threads, while every 10 minutes or so you get a scene where her husband either has a go at her or just ignores her while he watches TV.
Yeah. But the mad thing there is you get... None of this seems that difficult. Literally, she goes at one point and speaks to Rory Cochrane, and he's like, can I see the file? And he's like, really? Does that ever work? And she's like, sometimes. And he just gives her the file.
Oh, God, there was another one as well where... was it Alessandro Nivola?
It could have been, yeah.
The guy, the detective guy, who there's maybe a little bit of spark with it.
Yeah, you do think, are they going to bone?
Yeah. But, there's, the bit where she's like, can you give me the tapes of the interrogation? He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. You need to forget about that and live your life. And then literally the very next scene, she gets a package, and it's the... And it just the, but where's the connective tissue there? Because all it is just you've had a scene of conversation where he's like, no, you need to forget about it and live your life, go home, and then just an indeterminate thing happens, and then it just appears. It's I don't know. It just God, it should have been better. But also, I kind of don't know how you do a new perspective on this kind of thing. It's a true crime film that's also got elements of women being powerful. So you're just doing those two thematic things in a film together, and every now and then there's a murder.
Yeah, it's there's very little peril. There's very little Bill Camp. There's very little detective or investigation work, really. And the thing is, I'm sure there was, in reality, I'm sure there was a lot. But, yeah, it just... And the thing is, I get, with any true crime movies or anything like that, you can't tell the whole story. It's why at the end you have to have a little title card basically telling you, more, or where it all went or anything like that. But those title cards at the end shouldn't tell you so much more than the movie tells you. Because when it got to the end of the movie, I was there going, wait, so who was he? And then at the end of it, you're going, so he might have been all three of them. Maybe. Cool. One of them was definitely David Dachmalian. Cool. But the other 12, we don't know. All right. Carry on.
Yeah. Look, shit. I wish I didn't watch it. I'm annoyed that I watched it.
It is shit, yeah. I can give it 2.5 stars, which I'm starting to think is a bit fucking generous, to be honest.
I think it's it's well intentioned, but at the same time, it annoys me how low effort it was. I swear, it's just coasting, and also. This film's lucky it got made, because after How She Said did, we're not going to get an awful lot of female-centric journalism films going forward. And I'm annoyed that... I think that kind of annoys me even more that this is such a dud.
Yeah, I think it's not even that it's a dud, it's that it is so obviously... essentially a what if chicks did Zodiac. And the story might not be, it is probably not that, but what the film is doing is that, and it does the story a disservice.
It's ChatGPT being given a 2-page outline and go and make a film. That's what I like. Yeah, I'm done. It's shit. It's a really, really low effort film that should have been better.
Yeah, I'm going to go with shit as well. Our audience poll, definitely not shit 50% and touching cloth 50%.
Yeah, there you go.
So right. Well, let's move on. Ian, you've only got one other thing. What was it?
John Wick Chapter 3.
Oh.
It's great. I'm really sorry because I just don't have a lot to say this week. I've been busy and I've been doing other things. Work's taking up quite a lot of time at the moment. So I really like Chapter 3. To be honest, out of the first 3, I think Chapter 2 is my favourite. I think that it is tighter and it has a better villain. The villain of Chapter 3. The thing is, Mark Dacascos, who plays Zero, is kind of the villain.
Yeah.
But he's also not, because he's a fan of John Wick's, and he's really happy that he's fighting John Wick. Yeah. And it's like, he says, in another life we could have been pals. He's not the villain. So the villain instead is Asia Kate Dillon, I think the actress's name is.
Yeah.
Who plays the adjudicator. And okay, cool, you're just going around and being, threatening to people and then they're reacting to you. I don't know, I don't find it particularly compelling.
Well, the fact is, I completely forgot she even existed in this film, in this world, and I think I remember John Wick 3 quite well. It's just obviously I don't remember any of the bits containing her.
And
Them.
again. Oh, is it them? Okay, sorry.
I'm not sure. I just have a feeling it might be.
Okay, yeah. If it is, I apologise. I'm not misgendering. I just don't know. Well, not intentionally misgendering. Also, the ending of chapter 2 is kind of an all-timer ending. That, like, just the whole, I'm going to give you an hour and then you're excommunicado, and it literally ends with John Wick running.
Yeah.
The ending of chapter 3 is really, really good, but it's not that. But I am looking forward to, Winston literally really fucks over John Wick. What's going to happen now? Like, that I'm looking forward to. Because I don't think it was part of the plan. Because he took a hell of a knock, but my God, did he do Winston a service in what he was doing in that third act. So many people die. Violence is really crunchy and impressive. I'm really, really looking forward to chapter 4. I remain a little wary of the length, but we'll I know you don't care, and that's great. I love that enthusiasm. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah,
it's very much. I go into this going, do you know what? Fuck it. These movies have fucking earned that length so far.
Yeah.
So I have faith.
Yeah. Apparently Bill Skarsgård is great as the villain in chapter 4, and that's the thing. I think we just need a good villain who may not do all the fighting and whatnot, but can just be a good, hammy villain. Chapter 2 has that. Chapter 1's interesting because it's kind of Alfie Allen, kind of Michael Nyqvist. Chapter 3 doesn't really have that because the villain, the Adjudicator is like an emissary of the villains and represents the villains, but isn't really, I don't know, that they're just not that good a presence. But hey, roll on chapter 4. We'll talk about it next week.
Yep. I'm very much looking forward to what Scott Adkins is doing.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's me.
Cool. Right. Well, none, because it's, what have we been up to? So non-film related, I played a game.
Oh yeah, what?
So, I decided, I toyed with the idea for a while of buying Football Manager.
Right, okay.
Now, there's a few reasons why I wasn't going to buy Football Manager. One was I have not played it properly in 20 odd years. And so my brain went, it's probably a lot more complicated. And I don't deal well with complicated in games. It's why I don't game, because I don't have time to learn how to do all of these things, and so I don't care. Whereas something like, for instance, FIFA, it's the iPhone menu system. It's not the same as it was on the iPhone 3 at all. It's completely fucking different. But the fact is, you've grown with those differences. I haven't grown with Football Manager's differences and advancements, so I wasn't going to get it. And then I'd had one of those days at work. It wasn't a bad day, but wasn't a really good day, and I was just feeling a little bit lowered in energy. And I was still kind of backward and forward on should I get Football Manager or not? And I've been thinking about it. And I opened my phone, looked at my emails, and I had an email that came through from Steam. Didn't even know I had a Steam account, saying that Football Manager was 40% off. And so I thought, do you know what? That feels a little bit like a sign. So
I didn't catch that. Could you try?
Siri is very much liking my voice today. So I thought, fuck it, I'm gonna go for it. So I bought it, went through the rigmarole of actually buying a game online and downloading it through Steam, which was a pain in the arse. It shouldn't be that difficult. It just shouldn't be. And yeah, Football Manager. The other reason I didn't want to is if I did somehow assimilate back into it, in a very natural way, I'm not sure I have the time for that void that film can create in your life.
Sure.
So downloaded it. I played it for about an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours, one night while Becky was playing Last of Us. So she was on the TV playing Last of Us. I was sat on the chair with my MacBook and my headphones in and was playing Football Manager. I then closed it. Very nearly had an Ian moment the next day, and very nearly fucking deleted it from the MacBook.
That's the fucking way.
And not even because I thought I don't have time for this or anything like that. It was just I don't think I have the patience or the inclination to fucking learn the sheer functionality of this game now. It's beyond what I care to learn. But I've persisted. I've put maybe another hour and a half, 2 hours into it, and I'm kind of all right with it. But I'm looking at it and going, do you know what? I wake up early. No matter what, I wake up early. Becky doesn't. So I'm thinking, on holiday, sat out on a balcony, drinking a coffee at 7:30 in the morning. Mild hangover probably, but not allowed to wake Becky up for nearly 2 hours. Maybe Football Manager might be a good thing to kind of go, do you know what, fuck it, I can do that. Because I'm not going to take my MacBook down to the fucking pool to do something while I'm kind of just chilling, whereas I will take a book with me to do that. So I'm kind of thinking, probably post-holiday, I'm either going to be, this is it, this is my life now, I'm breaking out the suit for cup finals, or I will be, I'm probably going to delete this.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's fun. I have a feeling, because I have a friend who plays it fucking religiously, and will play at least 2 hours a night, and will play sometimes for he'll spend 12, 14 hours of his days off playing it, and he's very happy with that and knows that it's an addiction. But he's like, do you know what? At least I'm not addicted to anything that's dangerous to my health.
Sure, yeah.
But he when I messaged him and said, I've downloaded Football Manager, and he's like, oh, mate, let me send you over a load of my files. It's like, no. I do not want the files that you have created, the fucking PowerPoint presentations you have created about your free kick setups. I don't need that, because he has literally spent.
That's great.
And told me that he spent some ridiculous 6 or 7 hours just setting up his corners. I was like, wow. And he was like, it's like you spent 6 7 hours setting up corners. He was like, yeah, what? No. Each corner. I was like, what do you mean each corner? He went, my right-sided corners, I spent 6 hours doing that, and my left-sided corners, because I didn't have as good a right foot for taking corners, only about 5 hours. Only about 5 hours. Fantastic. I am not going down that. I think he told me once that he spent just setting up his training for the season. At the start of the season, he spent some ridiculous 21 hours doing that. Because of that, but that didn't include gameplay. That included research into what would be the best way to do it and all this sort of no. I'm glad you enjoy that, and I'm glad that you are that involved with something. But there's no way I care enough to do that. That sounds like another job. So yeah, So I was just having fun with it. So yeah, there's that. I went down that hole with Championship Manager 2000, 2001. I'm not going there again. I don't want to. I've only got a couple of the bits that I watched, and then we'll get into Shazam. Bex has just texted me and said that she just doesn't think she's going to get back until like 8:30 tonight now.
Okay.
So I don't think she's a good day, so I envision me taking her out for a pint, and then I've got to be up at 3:30 for work.
Right, okay.
Joys of joys. Right, go on, I'll get the fucking hell movie that I rewatched. I rewatched the 2000 Chevy Chase movie Snow Day again.
Of course, yeah.
It's... Do you know what? It's not very good. Like, it's not very good. But it is also kind of watchable. There's a moment where so Mark Webber of Things and Scott Pilgrim plays like the kid that you're following around in it, and obviously he's after a girl, and that's played by Emmanuel Chicory. And the thing is, when there's a point where Emmanuel Chicory comes out, and I sort of looked at it and went, "Oh, I feel a little bit dirty old man right now." Because there's no getting away from it, she looked hot. I'm like, oh, I feel a little bit dirty old man. So I had to check just, like how dirty. And I was like, oh no, she's 25. I'm all right. I think I can feel a little bit like that's a little bit weird, but I'm all right. I'm still in a safe enough space with that. So I was all right with that. But yeah, it's not a very good movie, but I enjoyed watching it. So I've continued my rewatch of John Hughes movies. So I've got two more. These are the other two movies I watched. Rewatched 16 Candles. Now there's been a lot of sort of revisionism done, I think, on John Hughes' work, and especially his 80s work. The coming of age collection of movies that he made, sort of between this and getting up to near on to when he moved in sort of more family orientated ones with like Halloween, Home Alone, and I kind of do balk a little bit at the idea of the revisionism of things like Breakfast Club and Pretty in Pink and bits like that. 16 Candles, maybe not so much though. This film is riddled with moments where you're watching it going, ooh, no, oh god, it's not aged well, and not even like it was a different time, just no, this hasn't aged well at all. Like, even if you take away from the Gene Watanabe character, if you take away from that, just the general sexual politics of it is just a little bit not good. But the weird thing is there are some quite sweet scenes within the actual movie as well. It's just they're surrounded by just red flags.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good re-watch. That kind of wish I hadn't. Now,
it's kind of it's kind of spoiled it for you in your mind's eye now.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. Of the this Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, which he didn't direct, but he wrote, and Ferris Bueller, of that kind of tranche of movies, it was always my least favourite. But I did kind of enjoy its fucking running down a hill kind of almost just oddity. But yeah, going back and rewatching it, it is just a little bit. There's a sense of ick to it that I think I wasn't expecting to have quite so palpably.
Okay.
A movie that doesn't have an awful lot of ick and hasn't actually. There's the occasional bits of within it. Ooh, you won't get away with that now. But I think you could take pretty much any movie that is 40 years old nearly and say that about. But Ferris Bueller's Day Off is still really fun. Is still really entertaining. Broderick is fantastic and a bit of a... You watch it going... I can see why this kid is getting away with this, and it's funny. But then you've also got a really, towards the end, you've got all the hijinks that keep on going. You keep thinking, oh, this is it. He hasn't thought this far ahead. And you get the moments, the fourth wall breaking, where... in the restaurant where it's literally, you've got the other characters saying to Ferris, you've gone too far, stop it now. And he literally just says to the camera, there is no too far. There is no stopping this. Whenever you think you've gone too far, the only way to go is further. And then you get and if I'm, if I am going to get caught, it's not going to be by that guy. That guy, they have made sure that you look at it and go, yeah, no, he's not getting caught by that guy. But then you have the end bit where Alan Ruck's character, Cameron, finally kind of snaps and has his kind of breakdown moment and essentially just goes full fucking blanker on the car. It's like rewatching that. It's a weird to say. I don't know. And I think I said the same thing last week. That. Growing up with these films, being younger and running through it, and like I said last week, of the age watching it, you're now watching it from the age of these, the kids within this are a little bit younger or around the same age as my daughter. But watching, Cameron essentially having a bit of a breakdown, and especially with the mental fragility that you've seen, or that I've seen working with a lot of teenagers, that have been through what we've been through over the past sort of few years, and the fact that you took away part of their, one of the most important parts of their fucking childhood that was there, and seeing the genuine toll that's taken, especially in a society at the moment where you have one half of it is a lot more understanding to these things, and the other half is vehemently nasty about these things. It does kind of make you look at these things, even sort of looking at a film that's nearly 40 years old, in quite a different way. And you've even still got Matthew Broderick's reactions to that, of him watching his friend have this, complete breakdown, but just kind of not really knowing how to deal with it. It's quite a powerful scene, actually. That I was quite shocked about that how much kind of I was watching it going, fucking hell, all right, this is taking this movie to a different level. It's quite cool. And then after that, you have him fucking just having to run home. So it takes you back to that. It is a really great fucking, not quite 5-star, but really great lasting film that I'm glad people still enjoy and have not been kind of minge-faced about.
Nice. Yeah, good.
Also rewatched Shazam, but we're going to talk about Shazam: Fury of Gods in a second. But yeah, rewatched Shazam, and I enjoy Shazam. It's fun. It's too long, and the most fun Shazam is when it's not being a world in peril comic book movie, when it's just kind of been more of a neighbourhood. Holy shit, I've got powers kind of movie. Those are the good bits of it, I think.
Yeah.
The more neighbourhood, the more low-key bits. So
nice.
We'll move into Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Let me just... Let's see. Right. So the film continues the story of teenage Billy Batson, who, upon reciting the magic word Shazam, is transformed into his adult super alter ego, Shazam. Yeah, fuck it, that's kind of what it's about. But it's also got the Daughters of Atlas, played by, remember all spoilers all the time, Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, and Rachel Ziegler, who want the staff for all its magic and bits and bats. And yeah, fuck it, we'll get into it as we go. Ian, Shazam, Fury of the Gods. What did you think?
Full of problems, but okay. Yeah. It's an odd one. You know, if they obviously it's not going to be a Shazam 3 given how it's done, but in the future ones, are they going to have like Rachel Zegler's 6,000-year-old woman who looks like an 18-year-old actually going out with that lad? That feels complicated, and just because you're acknowledging that it's weird in the film doesn't stop it being fucking weird.
Also, is it like, right, when you defrost like bread, that it just goes off really quickly? Because you've not taken it back to the start of its freshness. You've paused its freshness at that certain point. So if you defrost a fucking loaf of bread, that fucker, if you don't eat that fucker that day, or at the very earliest, like the next morning, that fucker by the next afternoon is going to be gone. He's by like halfway through the Shazam 3 movie we're not going to get. He's just going to be old as dust.
Yeah, quite. I mean,
there's a possibility she might be.
I am stunned that arc, that nature of that character arc, made it through in a film being released in 2023.
I just think the fact that she's so old, it kind of almost means that it doesn't matter.
I don't know. It just, if it was gender swapped, like, no, actually it wouldn't happen. You know, but yeah, I saw Rachel Zegler on a red carpet saying, like, well, what attracted her to, like, doing her first superhero movie, and she was just like, I needed the money.
Yeah.
And kind of laughed, but it was like, yeah, you know.
I do get the feeling a little bit with Rachel Zegler. There's an element of a... You need to be careful because you're not a big enough star to get away with how much of a dick you come across as sometimes.
I mean...
She was the one who bitched and moaned that she wasn't invited to the Oscars the other year, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was, but at the same time, it's like she's been on Blank Check, and like the other stuff that Griffin Newman does, she's like been a part of, and she... like on Blank Check, she seemed like very charming, and she was just talking about cabaret, you know. And but there is that aspect to her. But yeah, so the film's got like interesting ideas and does very little with them. Like at the start, when Helen Mirren, Lucy Liu, kind of like turned those people into what was almost like the rage being spread in 28 days later kind of sequence. Like that was like, oh shit, alright then, you know, it's David Sandberg, we're going to get some horror-y elements here. Nope. Turns them all to stone, they never do that again.
Yep.
Oh. Alright then.
Just becomes a not great, but I did actually laugh at it Beyonce joke later on, or Destiny's Child joke later on. That's pretty much all that power does for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, yeah. I don't know. I mean, like the older girl in the foster home, her whole I'm studying, I want to kind of live my life outside of this, but then by the end of the film, it's what? Actually, no, fuck your personal growth, be just part of the Shazamily. That's the arc, is it? Yeah, it is. But as a comic book movie for kids, I think it would probably work pretty well. I feel like if you were 10 years old watching this, you'd have a really good time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I agree with you there. I think that's what I kind of I do dig about it is and both of them were like this. It's a comic movie that isn't afraid to actually be a bit fun and a bit silly at points.
I mean, Jimon Honsu, MVP.
Yeah.
Like the fucking running joke of him getting that kid's name wrong. Great every time.
Yeah. Yeah, but the kid actor plays off that so well. Literally, where like there's one where he calls him Jeff. He's like, "I've literally just told you my entire name."
Yeah, I mean those two actually spark off quite well with each other. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
It was weird how he was like dusted in the first one, and they keep on bringing up like, what are you doing back? And they never actually say, do they?
No. No. He gets. He had to leave their world, and that's how he left their world, was he dusted. So technically he might not have actually died. That's the thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Which is flimsy as fuck.
Yeah. It is. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fun enough. Couple other problems. Well, I don't know whether it's a problem or not. The Skittles bit in the third act. I can't decide whether that's great or really, really bad.
I think it's. I think in this movie it pulls it off.
I kind of think it does as well. Just the idea that unicorns are fucking dickheads. They're like the biggest arsehole creatures on Earth, but they can be tamed by Skittles.
Yep.
There is... I think maybe the girl going taste the rainbow was a little bit much.
The girl going taste the rainbow later on was a little bit, all right, Skittles, you've gone too far.
Yeah. Biggest problem with the film, though, it completely breaks it at the end.
Oh, what?
Like,
yeah. With the cameo.
Yeah, you literally are like, right, and especially considering the fact we're not going to get another one, you could have actually had a pretty memorable ending for the end of the second Shazam film, where it's like, no, he's dead and buried. He will be forever remembered a hero. That's a cool ending, but no, aren't there any gods left? Only one. Oh, really? I very much wanted it to be Jimon Honsu in a Wonder Woman wig again. I'll say that.
Yeah. When Gal Gadot appeared, did your brain just go, oh, fuck off?
Yeah. I was just like, fuck's sake. Just you were almost interesting.
Yeah, my brain just went, oh fuck, nobody likes you.
And this is the thing. It will probably be her last on-screen appearance as Wonder Woman.
And it looks almost like she didn't actually film it. They just fucking computer-enhanced bits that she'd done in other movies to make it look like she had.
Yeah, I mean, apparently they got her really late in shooting, and I think there's a sense of she didn't actually meet any of the other people.
No, that doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me if they literally filmed it in her garden.
Yeah, quite.
That woman has no screen presence whatsoever.
No. And I do find it very, very funny that her last on-screen appearance as Wonder Woman is as a cameo that basically breaks the second Shazam film.
Yeah.
I liked the first one. I liked this one okay.
I liked it okay. I thought it was fun. Again, it's fun when they are being a family of young superheroes and they're just kind of twatting around. That's fun. I did not care about anything that involved Ziegler, Mirren, or Lucy Liu whatsoever. Could have just lifted the whole thing out of the movie. And I don't think it would have even made less sense. And I still wouldn't have cared. I would have enjoyed it more because that was almost a distraction. And the ending went on too long with him just flying around again. You watch it going, right, so we're watching something just flying around getting shot at again.
Yeah, sure.
Is this... It really... Like, genuinely, really, is this all that you have after 12 years, 12, 13 years of this new forage of superhero movies? It's still that.
And then you've got a mid-credits that assumes you watched Peacemaker?
Yeah. That's it. I didn't watch Peacemaker. But I know that they're from Peacemaker. But I did laugh at the Avenger gag.
The Avengers Society. I don't know. I'm ready for this era of DC films to be moved on to the next one. But then again, I'm also not, because I could maybe not be less interested in James Gunn doing a true to the source material take on Superman. James Gunn doing a sincere Superman film sounds like a bunch of shit I don't really want to see.
Yeah, I'm the same as that. I do like the fact that they kept both post credits scenes in though.
What's the other one then? Sorry, I missed the other one.
There's one at the very end as well.
Oh yeah, what was that?
It's what's his name? Oh, Stronger. He's back again.
Mark Strong.
Yeah, he's still in the prison.
Right.
But and you know that Mr. Mind, the fucking worm thing. That just starts talking to him again.
Okay.
And basically he's like, "Where have you been all these years?" And the worm's like, "Listen, I'm a worm. It's quite hard to get around. It takes a long time to get places." And then he's like, "But now my plan comes to fruition." And he's like, "What plan? You haven't told me anything about it." And then he just walks, and then the worm just kind of walks off.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I kind of looked at him and went, I need to know what that fucking guy's deal is. I don't want to watch another one of these movies, but I want to know what his fucking deal is.
And I mean, this is the thing. It's like this film's come out, it's gone. Sandberg's already come out saying he's done with superheroes. There we are. There's a couple $100 million wasted.
I like the fact that fucking James Gunn has come out and said, "Oh yeah, Zachary Levi and Sandberg, you know, we still see them as part of like the ongoing DCU thing." And Sandberg's like, "Yeah, we're not coming back."
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Levi's like, "Yes, please. Would you like me to take your lunch order, Mr. Gunn?" You know, He'll be popping up in shit with Gina Carano within the next couple of years, I reckon.
Yeah, sadly, unfortunately, because he is... Yeah, because, I mean, he is one of those. Which is a shame, because he's actually quite a fun screen presence.
Yeah, he's fine in this. You know, yeah. Yeah, no, he's all right in this. Yeah, hey, look, I mean, it's fine. It's better than the Boston Strangler.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mild, definitely not shit.
Yeah, it's definitely not shit, because I had enough fun with it. It's just, it's so fucking flimsy. It's so impossibly flimsy. What have we got? Well, our audience poll, shit, 100%.
Oh, there you go. It's a bit harsh, but sure.
It is. It's fine. It's fine. Right, questions. We do have a few. It's a short fucking show this week.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
We regularly gift out fucking 2 hour plus episodes. I'm sure our audience will allow us an hour's one every now and again. Right. Over the years, this is Dylan Black Lanterns. Over the years, there have been plenty of remakes, but are there any scores or soundtracks that didn't quite fit the film and that you would like to see redone? So, same old film, new soundtrack.
Tangerine Dream for the keep.
I really like the Tangerine Dream soundtrack.
I don't know. It was the first one that came to mind for me. It did feel out of place, but it is atmospheric. I'll give it that.
Yeah, there's one that I think of on this, and my brain. Actually, I need to come back to a question from a few weeks ago that I missed the right answer to, but I'll come back to that in a second. I often find that Soderbergh's absolute insistence that everything has a kind of jazzy soundtrack a little bit annoying. Sometimes they are just completely incongruous to what is going on. Sometimes they work, and sometimes they really don't.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to say probably a Soderbergh, but I can't think of which one. But yeah, there is sometimes where you're watching a film, and but the problem is I can't think of any right now, where you watch it going, this score just feels a little bit... Like when you get really atmospheric scores for, like, comedies. Just feel a little bit much. I'm sure there's a Hans Zimmer one out there somewhere. But yeah, we got asked a few weeks ago for the best cameo in a movie ever.
Yeah.
And I was putting some stuff out at work the other day, and it was like I'd been searching for the answer, and it had just fucking flew through the ether and just smacked me in the back of the head, and I just went, oh, shit, it's this. And it's Morris Day in the film Moving. Is the right answer.
Yeah, okay.
He's literally in it as Richard Pryor's daughter is desperately trying to not move to Boise, Idaho. So she finds like a guy that she's going to marry, and it's Morris Day playing just essentially the fucking Morris Day. And I still remember it. He's telling the dad telling Richard Pryor that he's a photographer and he's a manager of models, and that he's going to make sure she gets photographed correctly, properly, sensually. And it's just fucking brilliant. And it is that. I have decided that it's not even up for discussion. It's not my opinion. It is that. That is the greatest cameo of all time. Morris Day in the Richard Pryor movie, Moving.
Very good.
Yes, we have one other question that actually was from this week, rather than me answering questions from 2 months ago. So Rick Kidd had a random convo where Steve Guttenberg was mentioned. Are there any actors which make you think, whatever happened to them, where are they now? There's a few.
Sorry, go on.
Laurie Petty.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder where the fuck she is now. Edward Burns. Like, there'll be people right now who will be going, that person has won 17 Emmys. They're in one of the most popular TV shows on the planet, and I'm there going, I wonder what the fuck happened to this guy. So Ed Burns, Laurie Petty. I had another one earlier. I cannot remember. When I read the question earlier, one popped straight into my brain. I should fucking write this shit down. What the fuck happened to that guy? But yeah, that's a couple that I often wonder what the fuck happened to that guy? Where they were everywhere for a while, and now they're nowhere. Like, I could say, like, Pauly Shore, but I know what's happening with Pauly Shore right now. He's on tour in Las Vegas. So, you know, I don't need to have that moment there. Thank you much for listening. Oh, what we covering next week? I forgot that bit.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, so, no worries. So, next week, so these 3 films are all out on Friday. We're recording Sunday morning. So... it's gonna be one or more of Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, Tetris, and Murder Mystery 2.
I will pre-warn you all now, I am not a morning person, so I might be full Ian from last week / this week.
And I will warn you guys.
You're a fucking irritating cunt on a morning.
I have more energy on a morning than I do at any other point during the day.
I hate you on a morning. How you've survived this long, being the way you are on a morning, I do not know. I don't know, I've not stabbed you. Anyway,
Nice.
you'll all get to witness it next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what we've got. So thank you very much, guys. Thank you much, Rebecca.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank you very much, Ian.
Thank you very much, Mark, and apologies, folks. I'm all better now.
And thank you very much, listeners. Oh, I very much enjoyed that.
There we are.
Hey, Ian, do you know who I hate?